Hey, what's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? All right, special little treat for you guys today. I'm going to make a video covering the Zebec community spaces that happened today. So we're gonna have a look at it. Video is gonna be about an hour long, guys. So be ready for that. Get your popcorn ready, get your drinks, all things updates on Zebec. What's going on, guys? Look at the chart right now. More than recovered. The losses from yesterday. We are now higher than we were yesterday when the negative news came out. We are pumping to the upside. We're up 10.3% on the day so far, and we're just getting started, guys. Zebec's going to have a monster run, in my opinion. If you panic sold, you need to learn. Do not invest on emotions and only invest on your convictions and your research, because you may have missed a monster opportunity. All right, we're going to get right into it, guys. I'm going to play this. I'll be back a little bit later, so enjoy the show. Now, this isn't on YouTube, it's only on X, so that's why I'm sharing it here on YouTube. I know a lot of you guys do not have X accounts, so check this out, guys. Here you go, and enjoy.
Going on. Happy Wednesday. It's bullish in the market and a lot of stuff going on. So appreciate everybody hopping on in the middle of the week. We got a special spaces today. Very excited for it. We got Simon in the building. Simon, what's going on? Feel free to introduce yourself. And we got Ben as well. So feel free to take over, guys. And we'll be bringing in a couple more special guests. Shout out Ghost and Sam that will be around the corner as well. He'll be joining. So, Simon, want to take over? Or Ben?
Hey, how's it going?
What up? How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm good. Doesn't it feel nicer when the markets are just running in the right direction? Feels so much nicer to jump on spaces and chat.
Let's not jinx it, but yes, sir, absolutely.
I gave up believing in jinxing it a while back. You've got to talk about it at some point. It's a nice run.
That's true.
I hope everyone's having a good day. Thanks for inviting me to come up and co-host with you guys today. Simon, how are you?
Oh, Simon, not sure if we can hear you. Ben, can you hear him?
No, I can't hear Simon. Simon, it might be an idea to just spin around the block, just drop down and come back up. And we'll also, let's add Simon as a co-host.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it'd be better. He's having sound issues, so I'm gonna boot him.
Yeah, let's boot him.
Remove.
You also got like the ability to add speakers and hosts, right?
Yes, as a co-host, I can bring up speakers, but I can't create another co-host.
Okay, let me get Simon.
Here he comes.
All right.
Let's see if that works.
It says right. Add as a speaker.
And then you should be able to also, add him as a co-host.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right. Glad we got through that. So thank you, everyone, for joining today. It looks like we have a big audience here. We're ready to dive in and talk about all things Zebec. We haven't done a proper Zebec-focused spaces now in a couple months. Obviously, we've done a lot of great ecosystem spaces with you as well, Ben, over the past few months. But today, we are talking about Zebec.
Absolutely, and it's great to be up here with you. Obviously, for people that don't know me, my name's Ben. I've been working in the Web3 space for a long time, consultant to many different businesses, former VP creator strategy for Rug Radio, and then more recently, I've been supporting brands like ApeChain and others with their projects and the things that they're working on. Also host a few times a week spaces with my co-host Von Doom, where we met Simon, who came up and spoke to us about Zebec and what was going on, introduced us to the project. But that's a few months back, Simon. So there've been a few things that have been happening, and I know you want to take some time to kind of like lay out what's been going on in Q1, and I've got a whole bunch of questions that I'm ready to to ask you. So maybe you want to just jump into it and
yeah, let's dive in. I know you have a few questions for us, so let's do your questions and then let's bring it out to the community, because I know a lot of the community members have questions on their fingertips that they'd love to ask us too.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, the best way to get into it, we're now firmly in Q2. There's still plenty of time left to go in 2025, but we have got a quarter under the belt. So, and Q1 was rocky, right? It wasn't what we all thought it was going to be going into inauguration season, and then the promise of the Golden Bull and all of those things. It's been a tough time. Like, how has Zebec fared during that period?
Look, I mean, it's definitely been a year of volatility, a year of a lot of unexpected events, to say the least. I think a lot of us were expecting, a very strong 2025. Of course, we have not gotten that, but our hope is that it is now in the process of coming back into the second leg of the bull market. So, look, like any token project, we've had our ups and downs, but I think we've also made some very impressive milestones this year against our goals. So, we've launched multiple new products. Our community has grown immensely. The engagement of the community has increased. And of course, we've almost doubled our holder count of our token on Solana, which is an impressive feat. So I think we are in a really strong position to capitalize on the next leg of the bull market, particularly with our presence in the US and our tier 1 partnerships with some of the biggest names in Web3. So a lot to come in the next couple of months from Zebec.
I love that. That's a very comprehensive comprehensive review of how it's been going on. Like, that's how you've been doing regarding like Q1. If you overlay that then with the roadmap itself, like, what have been the top priorities for the project so far in 2025, and how well do you feel like you've performed against meeting the targets that you set yourselves?
Well, look, at the end of the day, we are a payments utility project. So we've been intensely focused on user-based growth and volume growth across our core products. So if you look at our card product, for example, we're at over 10,000 daily active users. Our volumes are north of 30 million annualized. On the payroll side, we're serving over 50,000 lives. We have over 250 corporate clients and real, blue chip companies, and we're doing over 500 million in volume there. So for us, these are the metrics that matter. We track this on a weekly and monthly basis. If you check our Twitter, we put a regular volume report out where you can see these numbers evolve as we grow our business. And to further grow, we're investing heavily in product development to bring the Zebec super app to market, which will bring together our real-time payroll product and all 3 of our Zebec cards in a single integrated mobile application. And this is something that the business has been looking to do for years, but now we're at the point where we have enough resources and the right products to plug it in together.
I love that. You said 3 cards. So I know that there were 2 when we last spoke, and I've been keeping up to date with what you've been going like launching, shipping. You and I caught up last week. You told me, Ben, you need to go check out the new carbon card. Tell me about it. Tell me what this is all about.
We are very proud of what we've put together here with the carbon card. It's truly a game changer. So we listened to the feedback from our users of both the silver and the black, and we took the best features of each to launch this one-of-a-kind product. So we're in the process of a soft rollout, but what makes this product so unique is it's the very first private crypto card with no fees at all. When I say no fees, I mean you put a one USDT, you spend a US dollar, right? There's nothing coming off the top. And you can spend up to 10,000 a day. With our silver card, you may remember you could only spend 1,000 per card. You also couldn't reload that card. And that's another key feature of the carbon card, is that it is reloadable. You can reload it as many times as you want every single day, as long as the total amount is less than 10,000. And look, we go back to our user base, and based on our data, 97 to 98% of our users spend under $10,000 a day. So this product is for all of them. And so far, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive.
I love that. I've been using my card for a while. I think it might be time to switch over to have a look at the carbon card. Sounds really interesting. How does that then fit into like the overall product suite, right, and the ecosystem at large. Like, you've got a lot of products now. Give me a rundown of like how that all dovetails with one another.
So when you think of our card products, just kind of as a subset here, we have different cards for different use cases, different user types, different geographies, right? We have the black card, which is really the fully loaded, fully functional debit card. You can spend as much as you want on it, but of course there's KYC and there's some geographic limitations. Then for those who do not want to do the full KYC, we have the silver card and we have the carbon card. So the silver card is the instant card. It's the one-time use card. For example, if you want to send money through a global remittance that's connected to your payroll, the silver card is a great option for that, right? Because the receiver can get it, they can spend that money one time, they can add it to their Apple Pay or Google Pay. The carbon card is really for the everyday use. We're seeing a lot of carbon cards now getting connected to our streaming payroll service, which means that users are essentially taking a portion of their earnings on Zebec Streaming Pay and they are rerouting that to their carbon card. Rather than previously they were sending it to exchanges, they were moving it to banks, they were losing lots of money in fees and off-ramp charges, and the carbon card has been able to completely eliminate all these middlemen, which is great for our users.
Absolutely. And it's I love the fact there that you're thinking about the broader audience as opposed to just kind of like, when some people have like good, better, best, and that kind of like, great, but this feels much more like you've considered the location, the circumstances of all of the people in the community, and I think that feels really nice. So
Yeah,
look,
like if you want to be compliant in all of these different geographies, you have to alter your product, right, for the markets you serve, and that's very important for us.
Yeah, I see that. And I heard you speak right at the beginning there when we were talking about Q1. You mentioned the super app, the Zebec super app. Like, anything with super at the beginning of it gets me going. Tell me what you can about the Zebec super app. Like, what is it? When can we expect it? What's going on?
So the super app's been in development now for a couple months, and it'll be launching later this year. And it's going to bring together all of our major products in a single, easy-to-use mobile application. That means you can receive your real-time payroll right within the app, convert stables to various cryptos, create multiple Zebec cards for different currencies. So depending on where you are in the world, where you're spending, if you travel, you can have a card in pounds and euros and USD, almost like what Revolut does. But of course, we are a crypto first product, which means that there'll be an integrated fiat to crypto on-ramp. So you'll be able to load it up with a direct bank transfer into stable coins and tokens. And nothing like this has really existed before. As I said, a lot of inspiration from what Revolut is doing in the fiat world, but we are a Web3 first banking experience.
Nice one, I love it. I've just pinned to the top here the post that people can click on if they want to, just to go and give it a retweet, or they can hit the little purple pill down in the bottom right hand corner. It'd be great to get more people in here. So we've got lots of people listening in. If everyone goes down to that purple pill at the bottom right hand corner, hits a like, gives us a retweet, we get the opportunity to bring more people in to talk about this stuff. It's super interesting. So there's the ZBCN token. Like, how does all of this fit into the roadmap that you're laying out in front of us now?
Well, ZBCN has been our native utility token since we launched right back in 2022 now. So it's been a few years, but everything that we build here at Zebec really links back to the token. So ZBCN will play a fundamental role within the super app. It'll help unlock new features and products while reducing fees that users pay. So the more ZBCN you hold, the more benefits you'll reap from using our products. The network participants will receive rewards that come back to them in ZBCN. So whether it's our DeFi integration, such as staking, development grants within our ecosystem, or even cash back for the top spenders on the Zebec card, it's always been a continuous flow of revenue, rewards, and ultimately token buybacks, which have steadily removed more and more ZBCN out of circulation and bolstering our value as a network and a token. So if you look at our historical monthly buybacks, you will see consistent month-over-month growth. And a lot of this is directly linked to the growth of our network and the growth of our revenue across our payroll and our cards.
I love that. I love that, man. Comprehensive. Thank you for that. When you came onto my show with Von Doom a few months back, one of the things we did towards the end of the show is we kind of put you on the spot, and I'm going to do it again for you now. We we asked you to think about like what the broader outlook for crypto and for Web3, like longer term blockchain tech, etc. I want to get you to do that, but kind of hone that into what's going on here at Zebec. So like long term, what are your aspirations for the project, and really kind of give it to us in a like break it down in terms of what you really want Zebec to achieve in the coming months and years.
I mean, you got to look at our history here, right? We started as a pioneer in payroll streaming technologies. We built the very first payroll streaming technology all these years ago. But to where we are today as a company, as a network, is a massive step forward. I mean, we always sought to disrupt traditional banking and traditional payroll so we could unlock financial freedom for our users. And that really means being able to get paid anywhere in the world in any currency in real time, not waiting for the bi-weekly or monthly payroll cycle, not paying all these exorbitant fees on moving your money around, and being able to spend it anywhere you want, right? And that's again where the Zebec card and the Zebec point of sale terminal comes into play. So we really see Zebec becoming more and more the de facto method of payment for global teams. So as I said, we serve over 200 companies in the world. We're paying people in countless countries. Anybody that wants to get paid in stable coins now have that option available within seconds, rather than going through the lengthy, cumbersome processes with traditional banks and payroll companies. So long story short, we will continue to break down barriers. We will continue to reduce friction. And naturally, we will see movement of people that are using traditional payroll and traditional banking onto our network as they see the benefits every day in their lives using it.
I love that. I love that. A man with a vision. It's good to see. It's good to see. You're excited, I can tell. When we first met, it was because I was a bit of a Sundog maxi, Sundog over on Tron, and they launched like a white label card with you. We then spoke a bit, and actually, you then launched another one with Rect, the Rect token, which was another token that I held at the time. I saw that you did like a bunch. What have you brought any new partners on with that recently? Is there plans to kind of like reach out and broaden the number of partners you've got on that white label card program?
Well, we are very proud of the white label card program we've built. I think it's now definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the industry. And it's been a great tool for us to drive volume onto our products. So in the past 12 months, we've inked almost 100 partners on the card, which means we've launched nearly 100 branded cards for everyone from, top 100 tokens to blue chip memes to AI projects, right? We're able to serve all of these different types of ecosystems because we support 8 chains, I think almost none, soon to be 9 chains on the Zebec card suite. So without a doubt, we're the most popular in the market today. And it's really a focus for us going forward in 2025 to continue to grow and bolster this program. And we have a lot of exciting names that are in the pipe that will be dropping in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to spoil it here, but keep your eyes glued to our Twitter as well as our Zebec card partnership account for regular updates on new white label cards that we launch.
I love that. And is there, if people in the audience have got like an in with a killer project that they think would be, worthy of the white label treatment, is there a route or a process that they can come in and kind of make that suggestion?
Absolutely. I mean, reach out to our business development team, send us a DM on Twitter. We're very responsive and we'll happily set up a call to figure out if the white label card's right for you.
Love it. You recently spoke of 2 deals as well with 2 massive projects, really, globally, like Stellar and Ondo as well, another one that I was looking at this morning. Can you tell us about your plan? Oh, my goodness me, I'll put my teeth back in. Can you tell us about your plans to bring their users into the Zebec ecosystem?
I mean, both Ondo and Stellar are very exciting long-term partners for us. So Ondo has been a key RWA partner for Zebec for the past year now, and we've integrated the Ondo stablecoin USDY within our card suite as a yield-bearing tool, and it's encouraged more user deposits given the yield benefits, right, of keeping funds in that token. Stellar has had very similar aspirations to Zebec over the years, of course, with the advantage of being founded a few years before us, and they are truly a visionary within the payment space of crypto. So today we're working very closely with the Stellar team. We're part of their developer incubation program. We've received grants from them to build payment systems on their rails, and we're working on further connecting the XLM token into the Zebec payroll suite, as well as the Zebec card suite. And what's the interesting application here? Well, it's actually global remittance. So we've been working quietly behind the scenes on a number of global remittance tools because it makes a lot of sense given our network, our access to payroll, particularly in countries like in the US, which is kind of the source of remittance, and then the use of our cards in more developing economies, which are the recipients of the recipients. So Stellar has been really, really active in these efforts, and we will be actually making some more formalized announcements and releases with them over the next few weeks. I don't want to announce it here. We'll be doing a separate event and spaces with Stellar, but please keep in mind, that this is something that's coming up, and Zebec will be sharing a lot more information on it.
Love that. And then White Rock, right? I saw you did something there. Tell us what you did with White Rock.
And so White Rock is an RWA project that we are building a white label card for. We're very close with the team at White Rock. We're excited to be working with them. There was a bit of miscommunication in our announcement with White Rock earlier this week. Our team has clarified that White Rock was not, in fact, backed by World Liberty Financial. That was a miscommunication. And it was really the result of White Rock's marketing team not communicating to us clearly as they approved the releases and co-drafted the releases with us when they went out. So we're glad we could clarify that with the community. We, of course, have the support now of Zach from World Liberty, who has also made it very clear about the relationship with World Liberty and White Rock.
Got that. Okay, thank you. And then in terms, you just mentioned like different partners and things like that. Any new exchange listings on the horizon for ZBCN? Anything like that coming up?
Well, we definitely have a few in the works. Again, not something I can speak to publicly. Of course, we've received investment from some of the biggest exchanges in the world, and I'm not going to speculate any further on that, but it is a priority for our team.
Yeah, and I obviously I did some research, like when you invited me to come up and ask you a bunch of questions. I saw that there was something that happened with BitHum in Korea. Can you give us any more information about that?
So, of course, we have gone through a delisting process recently with BitHum, which was a surprise to the team. BitHum never gave us a real rationale for their decision. So we and our legal team have reviewed the BitHum policies. We continue to believe that we're in full compliance with the exchange policies. That's why we challenged them in court. But of course, Korea is a foreign market to us. And there's been a lot of shakeup over there in their crypto industry, in the regulation of their exchanges. So for now, we are kind of just going to back down and see how things play out and focus on really growing in other markets over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then the other thing, when you were talking a bit about, I always forget, like the diversification of your business and what Zebec looks like. And so there's a whole payroll side as well. What's going on from the payroll business, and how's that side of things going for Zebec?
People forget that, behind this token, behind this company, we have a number of real world businesses, right, that are producing, regular revenue for the company, as well as serving thousands of users across the world. So PGP is the investment arm of Zebec, and PGP is continuing to make acquisitions in the payroll space, which is growing our reach and our market share in US payroll. We have an active partnership with ADP, which of course is the largest payroll company in the US. We're looking at expanding that relationship through a marketplace integration in the ADP marketplace with our instant card product, right, which will be used as a payout tool and an employee reward mechanism. So it's an exciting way for us to bring further real world volume onto our network.
I love that, man. I love it. And it's I remember when we hosted you a few months back, I remember that being one of the things that actually got us super excited. Like the stack that you guys have when it comes to real world, like financial and then like crypto integrations it feels like there's a lot more in the pipe for you. So I'm super, super excited about it. I really appreciate you taking the time there to answer my questions. And I know now that part 2 of the spaces is where you're going to move into kind of like town hall and community mode. So I'll pass it over to you guys, right?
Definitely. I mean, we have a lot of listeners on today, which is a great sign, right? Hopefully, a lot of questions teed up. I think we'd like to start with a member of our community by the name of Ghost, who
I'm
is
inviting him up right
managing.
now.
Perfect. So Ghost is managing one of the sub communities of Zebec on Twitter. This is really our first time having him on a Spaces, but we believe he's a great representative of the community and has some questions to bring forth today.
Ghost, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much, guys, for having me on. It's truly an honor. And I guess the first thing I can say is, wow. Just hearing everything that's planned out over the next few weeks and just the roadmap for where the company is going, I couldn't be any more excited. And I'm sure the community feels the same way. So I guess, I'll jump right into the questions. These questions, just to clarify, are curated directly from the ZBCN community here on X. These are not questions curated by me or anyone else. It's purely the community. And the first question, I'm sure you guys are expecting this one. Big question mark. And I really think it's the last piece of FUD, quote unquote, hanging on maybe to the project at this point. But one thing that a lot of people are really curious about is, what exactly happened with the nodes? What is the node situation?
For sure. So actually, before go shout out you. We brought Sam in the building. So for those that don't know, Sam is the founder and CEO of Zebec. And we definitely obviously wanted to have him on. So Sam, what's going on, bro?
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. And hey, Ghost, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the community. I'm following everything, and, JJ and everyone in the team says great things about all the things you've been doing. Yeah, I mean, like, thanks for asking the question. I think on the node part, there's a few things, right? I think people need to have a clarity that Zebec, 2 years ago, we wanted to spin out our own payments chain. We partnered with one of the roll-up as a service company called Eclipse, and we launched our chain. And during that, we spun up ZPOC nodes. Just for perspective, total money raised through ZPOC nodes was around $10 million, of which more than half of it was given to community directly in the first year. And if you add all the Zebec token that we have given out as reward, almost 80% of the node holder have made 3 times the return. And what we believe happened is, because for you to receive a lot of these rewards, you need to be actively participating on chain, right? I mean, Ghost, you can expect, that's how crypto economy works, right? You cannot just be sending people token onto the decentralized exchange, because that defeats the purpose of being a decentralized protocol. So we believe a lot of we actually have a number, I think around 300 people are the ones who didn't claim any reward whatsoever. They bought it. I don't know how they bought it, but somehow they never interacted with anything on chain. But they still received quite a bit of reward. And we believe they, when they received those reward, they didn't sold it. And now they're having a reckoning that, oh, wow, like, it's been a time past and they haven't gotten reward, or whatever their justification of not claiming those reward. But the clarity is, the roll-up as a service company that we partner with Eclipse, they migrated their stack. So we had to do something about the Nautilus chain, and it was acquired last year by 3Base team. They're actively working to resolve the remaining concern of the node holders. We believe when the 3Base token gets launched, all people, including some of our own team member, will be able to receive some reward, because we do have some of our team member have also invested in these nodes, because we believe it will be a great chain that when we were spinning this out. So TLDR, these nodes existed 3 years ago. A lot of community members received quite a bit of reward. There's on-chain data that people can verify this. And some of these users who didn't receive the reward because they didn't participate in on-chain activities are the ones who are unhappy. But since Nautilus was bought by 3Base, we believe once the 3Base token gets launched, all of these people will be made whole, including some of our own team members. So I think that's the node situation.
No, thank you for that. Now, I'm so sorry for speaking out of turn as well. I thought I heard my name there, so really want to
Oh no,
apologize
you're
for that.
good, bro. You're good. All good, man.
Okay, cool. And it's great to hear you talk about, things on chain. Just to kind of, piggyback off of that, what is maybe the projected growth rate for value on chain in the next, say, 12 to 18 months, if you had to predict?
That's a great question. And as I said earlier, those are metrics that we track very closely as a company. So our card target by the next 12 months is a 3x from our current volume at 30 million. So our goal is to get to 100 million in card volume. And on the payroll side, our goal is to grow that 2x. So that would get us to 1 billion in payroll volume. And the payroll growth would be a mix of organic growth as well as acquisitions, which has helped us get to where we are today.
And just on a side note, right? If we are able to do $100 million in card volume, that would officially make us the largest payments product on chain. In fact, probably first, first in this landscape, and that would be quite a big of an achievement. And we have achieved $30 million in a very short period of time. So the growth rate on card product has been actually spectacular, and all thanks to the great work done by Simon and the team here.
Thank you, Simon and Sam, for that one. The next question that we have from the community is the Zebec network expected to be ISO 222 compliant?
Yes, it is. This is a high priority item on our roadmap. Of course, we work closely with Stellar and other companies in the space that are up to this standard. And as Zebec's network grows and we roll out more products in more countries, the importance of the ISO compliance is greater. So it's something that's on our roadmap, and it's something that we should have within the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm sure that got a lot of people really excited in the community here. So thank you for
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. I mean, not many crypto companies have this, right? And it's not an easy thing. You have to be very compliant. You have to check a lot of boxes. But Zebec from day one has always operated, in the US and in other regulated markets. So for us, it's a lot easier to get these compliance standards than your run-of-the-mill crypto project.
Absolutely. And, speaking about the US, and obviously we have crypto regulations coming here soon. I'm sure the stablecoin regulation is going to be a really big thing. What are your guys' thoughts on, I guess the upcoming crypto regulations here in the US, and how Zebec is really positioned to benefit from these regulations when they do roll out?
Look, we're more excited than anybody, right? These regulations have been long overdue. We've been operating in the US now for over 4 years, right? In this regulatory gray zone, like all other crypto projects have, right? And we've done our best to be as compliant as possible and to, follow all the highest KYC and banking rules. But now with a very crypto-friendly head of the SEC, the ability for US banks to serve crypto companies, and then the clarity that's going to come out of the Stablecoin Act, it's really going to let us supercharge our business in the US, particularly when we have so many millions of dollars in payroll flow going through US businesses. Now we can really drive the crypto adoption of that payroll money that we were not always able to do before, just given the variation of banks' acceptance of crypto.
Absolutely. And speaking about some of those, use cases, are there any potential use cases for ZBCN or maybe the Zebec network that might not be on the radar or on the maps of common investors like myself and other community members? What are some of those maybe potential use cases that we're just not thinking about or seeing right now that could come in the future?
Well, I'm sure everyone who's a ZBC investor, I'm hoping, is also a ZBCN staker, right? We launched staking last year. It's been incredibly successful. We have over 1 billion tokens staked right now. But there's more and more DeFi applications of ZBCN that are coming to market. As I mentioned earlier, the rollout of the super app is going to be a massive development for the company in the next few months. The ZBCN token will be integrated core to that app, meaning that your balance of staked ZBCN or held ZBCN will directly impact your ability to open new products, use the services, also reduce your fees to as low as 0, right? If you hold a certain amount of ZBCN, and that's when things are going to get really exciting. Of course, we also have the reward mechanism on the roadmap, so you'll start seeing ZBCN coming in as a reward of cash back for our card products. But for us, ultimately, it's so much more important to have our buybacks higher than any rewards that we're doing. And luckily, with our revenue growth trajectory, we have no issues ensuring that our buybacks are going up month over month. So that way there's more token being removed from the market than being added to the market.
And adding one last thing to Simon's point, so as we get to our $100 million per year card volume target, what it clearly will show to the market is, Zebec card has a tremendous utility, tremendous distribution, and we would open that distribution to the community. It means anyone who has a certain number of Zebec tokens staked, they can propose vote to add certain tokens on our card. So as we had our, we discussed about our white label card product, we want to open that up to our community once we are able to reach a certain number of distributions. So that means community will be able to decide which token will get listed. And we believe at that time, it will start to show a utility structure closer to CRV token, where people will start to bribe ZBCN holder and staker so that their token gets voted higher than another token. So we believe that will make community even more stronger, as they will be in the forefront of decision making of what specific products get added and how our app ecosystem starts to behave.
Yeah, I think the community is definitely going to be pretty excited about that one. Alongside the staking rewards and everything that you guys have going on right now, it's only going to get better as the ecosystem grows, I can imagine. This is actually my final question. I don't want to steal all the spotlight. I'm sure there's other community members that do have questions as well. And I'm not even sure if you guys are able to answer this right now. But how many NDAs, if you had to estimate, are in place right now with Zebec Network and maybe other companies out there?
So that's a bit of an interesting question because we don't typically track NDAs. I mean, we have NDAs with a number of companies, but that's really something that's very early stage. We sign agreements, with all of our card partners, for example. All of our payroll clients are in annual agreements with us. And that number, if I were to estimate, is well north of 350, right? Even, getting close to 500. So that's really the metric we track. NDAs kind of come and go as we have conversations with potential partners, but it's really the signed annual contracts that matter.
No, that definitely makes a ton of sense. And even hearing that 300 figure, I think that's going to get a lot of people really excited. So thank you for sharing that. And like I mentioned before, that was my last question. I do want to just, end it off by saying thank you so much for the opportunity to come on the space today and I guess represent the community and some of the questions that they have around the project. I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're really excited about the roadmap and just hearing more about, what's to come over the next few weeks and obviously the next few years. So thank you guys so much. Love what you're building. And yeah, I'll be here supporting, as
We really appreciate it, Ghost. You've been a tremendous voice of the community, and we hope you can keep doing this great work.
Yeah, really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
All right, so we have, I think, 8 minutes left for additional community questions. So let's get into it. JJ, do you want to pick a few from the audience?
Yeah, so feel free to request if you have a question for us. We got around 8 minutes that we just want to take questions from you guys. So yeah, I see a few kind of like requests out there. Let me Volatility Cowboy, I see you. So let me hey, Volatility Cowboy, you there?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you, man?
Beautiful. I'm having a wonderful day. Thanks for letting me up here, guys. I really appreciate it. I just have one question. That's all.
Got you. Go ahead, bro.
So me and Ghost kind of came together a long time ago, discovered Zebec, and he created this Twitter page, and me and him have been doing some work on there, tons of research. But my main question is, why would a business, hold on, I gotta go, hold on.
What a shame. That sounded like it was going to be a really good
Yes,
question.
let's let him back. Where did he go?
Yeah, well, no, I think he. I mean, I didn't mute him.
He had to drop.
Yeah, he had to drop. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, if it probably something came up, but yeah, let's I guess
Let's
go
move on to the
another-
next one, and if he comes back, we'll bring him on.
All right, so let me see what else we have. Let me see. So this doesn't happen again. I think there's a lot of like questions here on what's it called? Wait, did he?
Hey guys,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. What's your question, man?
All right, I'm sorry about that. I'm a fireman. I'm at work right now, but I just walked to the bathroom. So my main question for you guys is, why would a company want to choose Zebec network in their protocol and their real-time payroll streaming compared to what they use now? Like, what benefits is the company themselves going to gain? Like, how are you planning to essentially get into these big markets or even just everyday business?
That's a great question, and that really hits on our value proposition and our product market fit, which is of core of importance. So if you look at crypto companies, right? Crypto companies are paying their employees through wallet transfers, right? Which are slow, they're cumbersome, they're prone to mistakes, they don't have integrated reporting. So our tools take all that work off their operations plate and they put it in a streamlined software where all of it can be tracked and it can put out monthly reports and metrics, and their employees have the benefit of receiving that money in real time, right? Which is a perk. Now you move over to traditional Web 2 companies. And for them, offering real-time payments and crypto payroll, it's almost like a recruiting tool. It's a way to keep their employees happy, to attract younger employees. You know, a lot of Gen Z folks are very open to receiving money in crypto, and they might choose between two comparable job offers, the one that offers a crypto payment offering or a daily pay offering as a selling point for them. So that's really how we see ourselves serving our clients on the payroll side.
And also adding one last thing is, I mean, like we can get this data that you can check online. More than half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, right? And America is one of the better countries, right? Like most of the world now is struggling. So in the world like that, people receiving their paycheck in 2 weeks is the reality here. But in majority of the countries outside, it's actually people receive their paycheck once a month, right? So in a world like that, companies have a lot of incentives to open up these real-time payments, because this is the right thing to do, because it's if people are able to receive the money even a day or 2 day early, they don't have to rely on these payday loans and these predatory lending businesses that is prevalent all around the world. So overall, this is a good product to offer for businesses, because this boosts employee morale, because happy employees equals to happy companies. And more importantly, you want your employees to be focused, happy, and and not having to rely on these predatory payday lending and products like that.
Cool. No, that's awesome. Honestly, I was just trying to figure that out because I mean, I fully support the system and I think it's revolutionary, honestly. And the partnerships that you guys already have are mind blowing and amazing. And I was just thinking about what your plan was to essentially get into everyday business, if that was the thing. I mean, I'm sure this system will allow these employers to pay people in fiat or crypto, essentially. So it wouldn't be any different than what they're doing now, except there'd be way more technological benefits that go along with it.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well,
Thank you guys.
really
And I
appreciate
apologize
the
for
question.
the toilet, and I apologize for cutting out. My fire chief literally walked in. It was kind of awkward. So
All good. Shout out all the firemen. We really appreciate what y'all do and for being on this space. So yeah, let's go to the next one because we're running, I guess, out of time. So feel free to pick or wait. Let me see. Is it Pep? I'm not sure that's how you say it.
All right, let's get them on.
All right, let's see. So Pep, are you there? All right. Yeah, if we call you on, just
Hello, can you hear me?
yes. What's your question, bro?
Yeah, my question is so quick. In order for early investors like me, signed some weeks ago, I would like to know what logo Zebec transmit. I would like to know who decided the CB logo and why, the colors and what represent.
Well, that's an interesting question. I think we don't get too much asked about our design ethos as a company. I mean, if you go back to the founding of Zebec, the vision was a ship, right, to represent the freedom of movement, right, the freedom of movement of your funds around the world without borders, without friction. So that's where our logo comes in. And our color scheme has always been an evolution of the blues and the purples, and you'll continue to see that going forward. You may see a design revamp later this year, but nothing official as of now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. The reason is Zebec means just ship, and we used to be called, we wanted to stream money, and Zebecs were the early ships that were used. They were cheap. They were really used for fast transport between the Mediterranean Sea. So we thought what we represent is something similar, which is we want fast flow of money, and we wanted to be cheap, affordable for the community, for the user. So for overall, we believe that to be that to be something that made our like you know our our product vision seem more clear. So yes, so Zebec means the fast ship in the Mediterranean Sea, and we thought that we could be the stream in the Solana ecosystem, and over the long run to all the other crypto ecosystem.
Okay, thanks a lot for all the explanations. I think that any kind of logo has hidden a spiritual part, and it's very nice and very exciting. How do you see your vision about what Zebec means and represents for people and DeFi for finance? So thanks a lot for your explanation. It's really appreciated. Thank you.
Appreciate the question. All right, Jamie,
Yeah,
do we have
thank you so
time
much.
for one or two more?
Yeah, for sure. So I got a few that I see on DMs and on these bubbles.
Okay.
So I'll just list them for you. So there are a few super apps out there already, like the Revolut in Europe and Venmo/Cash App in the US. How do you guys envision the Zebec super app to compete with, kind of these legacy apps?
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that a lot of these legacy apps were kind of built from banks. They're kind of banks in disguise of being a super app. Versus with Zebec, it's always been crypto first. We are a Web3 native protocol and a network. So having that as a benefit allows you to move funds a lot more freely, transact in different crypto tokens, in different fiat currencies, and move money on and off chain at the click of a button. And that's something that Venmo or Revolut have never really fully adopted. They've added in features where you can buy crypto, for example, using funds in your Revolut, but never that full crypto-based banking experience which we are building today.
Yeah, and also another thing is over the long run, we might be able to connect API of apps like Radium, Orca, or Jupiter, where people are able to do swaps, right? And over the long run, if the users like that product, we might not hesitant on adding the API of Hyperliquid, right? So this means you are able to get the trading experience of Coinbase Pro with the free money flowing experience of Venmo and Cash App, right? And I think that is a clear differentiation, and this will be global, right? Anyone anywhere in the world can use it. They can on ramp their local currency through our on ramp partner. They can off ramp using Zebec debit card, right? So it will make us a much more cohesive app compared to those legacy partners.
Awesome. So that was a great question. We got I got a few more. So the payroll aspect is good. The rollout seems slow. Is it because crypto adoption is slow, at least in America? And do you see it exploding now that we have a crypto president? I guess is more of like related to the payroll.
Going back to the regulatory topics, I mean, as we've said, operating in the US as a crypto company over the past 3 years has been a challenge, just given the lack of regulatory oversight and regulatory clarity. Now things are changing at a very fast pace. So we envision, a large uptake and adoption of crypto payroll in the US, even in the rest of 2025. I think, we are actively revising our targets to much higher levels, and we're preparing the business to take on much more volume given these changes.
Awesome. I got a card question. So are the cards only for US? Try to get a card onto Apple Pay and it says I need a US phone number to confirm. But I'm in UK, so I'm not getting a code.
Hey, that's a great question. And that's something that our product team is actively working on fixing. We are going to be transitioning to email OTP, which is going to solve this phone number issue. So users will be able to receive that code on email and add the card to Apple Pay seamlessly.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have one of our cards, I mean, for the most part, we got great feedback, and people love their cards. But obviously, sometimes there's people that have some support issues. Feel free to send us a Telegram DM on our community. One of our mods will get back to you with a reply, and we can get your problem solved ASAP. So let's see. So. Says Tim has a question. Let me see. Oh, Tim. All right. I think I see him. So we got Tim coming up. Tim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What up? What up?
Hey guys. Just a quick question. I've seen you guys more than anyone actually in the last kind of downtrend, heavily working with a lot of your card partners across sports and really pushing that retail narrative for the communities that you're working with, and then Zebec as a whole. How is Zebec looking ahead for the rest of this year and into next year to kind of utilize sports and connect with retail and IRL media?
That's a great question, Tim. And really, it goes back to us being essentially a consumer-facing fintech brand. So for us, it's very important to build this brand name and this brand value. And we found the best way to connect with our target audience is through Tier 1 sports. So over the course of the past 6 months, we've sponsored the UEFA games in Europe. We are a sponsor of Premier League as well as Bundesliga. For our fans who tuned in for Saturday's game, we were all over the pitch as well as in some of the highlights of the goals with Zebec and our card website prominently displayed behind the goal. So this is something we want to double down on and invest in, as we've seen incredible ROI for our brand. So it won't be a surprise to see us potentially in US Sports League later this year. We are in discussions with the NBA as well as the MLB. So a lot more to come on the sports side.
Cool. Nice.
Awesome. Let's do. Wait, Tim, you want to say something else? My bad, bro.
No, that was it. Appreciate it.
Awesome. I guess we got Simon. One more question is good.
Let's do one more. Yeah, we're running over time, but let's squeeze in one more.
All right, cool. So in the US, there seems to be more hesitation for retail users to adopt crypto as a payment method. For those people, what features or education do you think are most critical, to get them to trust and use, whether that's a crypto card or a crypto payroll, right?
Well, look, it's understandable. I mean, the US has had, its fair shares of rough patches in the development of its crypto industry. Of course, some of the big US crypto companies had spectacular failures. Of course, FTX was primarily serving the US market. So a lot of US crypto people have these bad memories, but the industry has come a long way in these 2 years. The industry has cleaned up significantly. And I think trust is slowly coming back into the system, particularly with Americans and particularly with the president's open support of crypto. His family having, its own crypto entity as well, is helping rebuild the trust in the market. So I think the US will see faster adoption, particularly as payments in the US are traditionally slower than in other markets. Of course, doing a wire transfer in the US can sometimes take 2 or 3 business days, right? And that's why crypto, I believe, will be a very important tool for Americans to make easier and quicker payments.
Fire. All right, guys. We were supposed to do a 45-minute one, but I think we're like 8 minutes past, so no problem at all. We definitely wanted to, have this and, let the community know what's going on behind the scenes and kind of answer, all the questions you got.
Absolutely love the transparency there, guys. Talking about they're in talks with the NBA right now. Absolutely amazing. The fact they mentioned that their buybacks are going to buy back tokens faster than tokens are being released through their token unlocks. So that puts to bed that question. A lot of people ask me about the token unlocks all the time, and if it's a concern, well, that puts that question to concern. The fact that they're buying them back faster than they're unlocking them, absolutely massive. Those are just a couple of things I took out of it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, if you want to be part of an educational community, guys, if you need to learn how to become, guys, nothing is more important in this space than learning how to become a better trader and investor and getting educated, right? Nothing trumps that in this space. So come on over to the community. We drop educational content all the time. We're live every single day on the Patreon. You can book one-on-one coaching calls with me personally. The reason you may not be succeeding in this space, guys, is because you may simply just be buying what some content creator is telling you to buy and not getting yourself educated. Stop trying to take shortcuts. Stop trying to find workarounds. Do this properly, and you will make life-changing wealth for you and your family. Because at the end of the day, that is why you're here. That is what matters. So come and get educated, get the training that you need. We're live every day, one-on-one coaching calls for you over there, absolutely for free. So come over and check it out, guys. We drop educational content, microcap gem videos, and so much more. The link is down below. Check it out for yourselves, guys. If you don't like it, you can leave. But at the very worst case scenario, you come in, you get a free one-on-one coaching call, maybe a second opinion on your portfolio structure, get all your questions answered, and so much more, guys. So check it out for yourselves. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.